G'day, I'm Ish, and today we'll be talking about repair costs since so many of you have been requesting that over the last 3 days. I don't know why this re-emerges every single year about the same time. Look, I understand that repair costs are a major part of forming an economy, and they obviously drive an incentive for you to play and earn, but the other side of the coin is reality. You don't really have to play a great deal of matches or to earn a great deal of silver lines. If you're playing casually, I usually find that I'm earning more than when I'm trying to try hard, for example, but those results are mixed and vary between people. A lot of other content creators probably will tell you it's easy getting silver lines, and repair costs should not be an issue. A lot of them tell you tips and tricks on how to save or what to do. I'm not going to tell you any of those today. But I will tell you that aircraft are significantly cheaper than tanks, and tanks are significantly cheaper than naval, and let's not mention helicopters. And about 6 months ago, it probably was cause for concern that repair costs was a major talk of the town. Do you remember B-29s and their repair costs? Obviously, space climbing bombers that run off the edge of the map isn't something that people enjoy. Nevertheless, they whacked up the repair costs across the board in order to prevent people from spamming them to the point where it was ruining everyone else's matches. You see, there is a fine balance in game design, even though you can call it game design with Carlton Entertainment. It's really a hard balance between the ifs and the hows and the whys. And this obviously comes down to power gaming, and what do I mean by that exactly? Well, that's min-maxing. Essentially, there will always be players that play War Thunder specifically to, desirably get as maximum progress and obviously minimize your weakness and maximizing everything that the strengths are. And obviously, Carlton is trying to combat this, but in all cases, it seems to me, alright, I'm not even out of touch with this, that Gaijin doesn't know how to really respond to repair costs. We saw this. Repair costs used to be, back in the day, 53,000, for a battleship. It used to be, 30,000 for a B-29, or even, I think it was even higher than that. I think it was like 79,000 silver at one point. So, point being, right, there is a stepped process for the way that they deal with things. Obviously, that process is completely and utterly, and I'll be honest, fucked, but for example, America has consistently the highest extreme repair costs among jets alone, where the lowest repair costs seem to be Soviet jets. Very interesting comparison point there. For example, F-84 F-13K spaded at 8.3, A4B 14.5k silver lines spaded, F105 is 15k 10.0, and the F104C is 18.8k, and that's if you're lucky to get a kill. You need to at least get 2 kills to try and make up that. Well, I don't even 2 kills makes up that deficit, but you know what I mean. Every nation has their particularly high repair cost at a certain bracket. I don't know whether they do this intentionally or run the numbers, but when I was calculating how much research points it takes to actually unlock a whole entire air tree, it's something like 43 million silver research points, I came into a bit of an anomaly. They like using even numbers to distribute the tech trees in such a way that there is a bracket which normalizes the repair cost across the board. For example, they also tie this to the vehicle's rank. They also tend to tie this to the tier. It depends on what the nation is and how many vehicles they've actually got as well. If it's a smaller tree, for example, like Sweden, although they've got the recent addition of Finland, they tend to have high repair costs. If it's a smaller nation, like for example Japan, higher repair costs because there's less vehicles to grind through. Whereas the nations that have more vehicles tend to have a lot more vehicles, right? And despite their repair costs being lower, you're noticing the repair costs on those things a lot higher because, well, they've got 30 vehicles to unlock instead of 20. And this just comes from a development process from which I've observed, but even then, War Thunder is an incredibly complex game with a variety of vehicles that just keeps expanding, and this compound issue of repair costs going to get larger over time as more and more stuff is added. And let me be clear, fuck repair costs, and specifically the fact that a free repair cost for a vehicle takes days. you ever tried to repair a battleship? Takes like a week. And specifically, if you've got a higher tier bomber, that translates to you not playing very many games and not earning very much silver. So auto repair and turning it on and off really doesn't make sense in this kind of, thing. The whole point and drive of War Thunder is you unlock more things to progress down towards the top end of the game. That's how the game works. But I don't want to wait days and days just to play a single vehicle only to die to some stupid mechanic that you haven't thought through correctly and end up having to wait another 3 days before you can play the vehicle again. So that mechanic needs to be looked at slightly or tweaked. Maybe 1 day is probably a maximum is what I'd put it. And then what's the point of having crew skills that increase repair time or decrease repair time if they're not actually viable? You know, having a rank 5 crew member that has repair at max doesn't actually really do anything aside from lower the time required to actually repair, and even then it's still 3 days at maximum. So, like, that's a useless mechanic outside of being able to rearm on an airfield faster as in an aircraft or a helicopter. So maybe they should address that whole side of things before moving on to something a little more devious. Alright. Crew costs. That's another expected factor, right? You need to purchase a vehicle for 1 million silver, then you've got to crew it for another 300,000, then you've got your 10 free repairs, okay? You use those 10 free repairs and then all of a sudden you're now paying 6, 7k, up to 10k, 12k, 15k once you finally upgrade your tank or aircraft or ship. Yeah, it's going to start costing you a lot of money to operate in an efficient manner. What doesn't help is the sim lobbies that are just farming silver lines, and Gaijin takes the data of this and then decides that everybody's economy is fine and sane. And then they go and apply a band-aid fix to everything and basically punish every other player for playing a single game mode. But imagine if you could actually play a full-on match with a full-on lineup with having minimal repair costs. Say $20,000 maximum. Right, that'd be a lot easier than having 20,000 per vehicle, right? Maybe then you might be making a bit of a profit, but that isn't the aim of the game. The aim of the game is to progress down a tech tree, for you to get frustrated, for you to open your wallet, buy a premium tank which has 30 free repairs, by the way, comparatively to your 10 free repairs on most new vehicles, and then continue using that premium vehicle to unlock the rest of the entire tech tree. At the end of the day, nothing in life is free. It'll ultimately cost you something. For me, this game over the last 10 years has been my sanity. For other people, it might be repair costs. For others, it might be lack of decompression. But there's always something that isn't particularly free when it comes to this game. You know, we've got a fantastic event that's going on right now to celebrate 10-year anniversary, and it's great. Some of the vehicles available are fantastic. But a lot of people are burnt out trying to get all the tasks done and obviously try to unlock everything as max as they possibly can. I feel like this is a wider issue sort of thing. Saying fuck repair costs and obviously having no repair costs doesn't solve anything. In fact, it just makes the game more complicated. Maybe instead should the conversation be stock and free parts and FPE? Or should it be that you get a cheaper crew costs or some sort of something? But at the end of the day, Gaijin is a company, they have to make money. And there are other games out there like IL-2 or DCS where you pay $60 for a vehicle, or you pay a set vehicle for a set of vehicle lists, and that allows you to, well, play those vehicles without having to worry about repair costs, instead dealing with it in other ways like on a per map basis. But that's a separate topic. Obviously there's Gunner Heat PC as well, but War Thunder is really one of those only games that is accessible, and I guess that's why they own the market, right? At the end of the day, there is nothing that I myself as a content creator or any other content creator can really say that will really influence Gaijin's opinion towards lowering repair costs. That in itself might be a different subject for another day, but essentially we're stuck with the system that we have, and keep in mind they already did reduce the repair costs a considerable amount around 6 to 7 months ago. So again, is it crying wolf, or are you not struggling in Silver Lines? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are you fine? Are you flush with cash? Are you struggling? I don't know. I'm an out-of-touch content creator. I wouldn't know. Thank you very much for watching, I appreciate it, and thank you for everyone who's purchased the decal. It's been amazing supporting me. It's going towards more PC hardware, if you want to know. Alright, cheerio.